Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast, the official podcast for Farnborough Football Club and sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec takes your business visions and turns them into innovative reality. Good evening everybody watching us on YouTube. I'm Alan as normal and I'm joined again by Simon. Simon, it's only been a couple of days since the last episode, but how's your day been?
We've been as almost as busy as as tonight's guest, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon, almost. But yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, busy day. Well, I'm been up at Southwark today, working. So we're back at the office tomorrow. So I'll have a try and find somewhere quiet in the corner and have a kip, I think, as usual.
As usual, yeah. Well, firstly, I'll just say that thanks to everybody that's watched our last episode. We've had some good reviews on that, good comments and some good views as well. So keep watching and thanks a lot.
Are we still on 99 subscribers?
I think we're still on 99 subscribers. Yeah, we're still waiting for that elusive 100th one.
Yeah, we might have to throw some kind of party. Or I might tell you what. Say what if someone wants to make themselves the 100th subscriber, I'll chuck them a $5 when I see them and a pint. How's that?
Well, there you go. If that's not incentive for anyone to do that, I don't know what is.
Obviously, I want to make yourself known. I want proof because otherwise I don't have 10 people coming up saying I was the 100th and it cost me a fortune.
Well, hopefully after tonight's guest, we will get that 100th subscriber. But tonight we have got again returning guest, Marc White, Dorking owner and manager. Good evening, Marc.
Hello, boys. Good to see you still doing your hard work for Farnborough, flying the flag.
Yeah, always.
Right. Yeah. You were saying off air, it's been about just over a year since we last spoke, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's changed? What's changed in that year? Coming up, probably starting from last season, probably saying the last season and to this one and today, really.
Well, I'd love to know how many managers have been replaced. I reckon that'd be a lot. How many dreams have been broken? I think the National League South got really tough, become even more of a bottleneck than what it was already, making it tougher for all of us. But a year in football, weirdly, sometimes seemed like 2 minutes, sometimes seemed like a long time ago. Weirdly, weird old thing. But not a lot's changed, Darren, mate. Still chasing the ace, trying to be successful.
Fair enough. It's all right. Sort of sweet, like it. So you last season was probably a disappointing season overall, I suppose, for yourselves. I know because I know you had eyes on winning the league and you were going to get 120 points and score 100 goals and all that sort of stuff. It didn't quite happen.
I'll tell you what we did do. I'll tell you what we've done. This shows how good I am. We got, I think it was 87 points. We played half a season with the entire midfield missing. And we took it to the final day. So I was really pleased with that, to be fair. Alas, we didn't get the objective.
You're looking for 100 points and we're looking for 100 subscribers. So there you go. It's a bit of symmetry there, isn't it?
Yeah. Were you surprised, because obviously that was your first season back down in the South, were you surprised at how tough it was? Or I know you said you had the injury problems and that.
Yeah, not really. I think it's stronger this year than it was last year, to be honest with you. Look, we have to call this right. We have to be honest about this, right? And I think when you're in a league, the fact of the matter is you tend to become an object of that lead, if that makes sense. If you think about it, you don't often see teams that just go into a league and they're all conquering. They tend to saturate into the division. But this is a division. I've been saying this. We've been in this league 5 years, right? 5 seasons. We were beaten semi-finalists at the playoffs in our first season. The next season we were probably going to win it in Feb when it got called off. The season after that, we went up through the playoff final, came second, and last season we were 3 points off the title. And what this league tells you, I've said it for years, I'm afraid to say, ain't that strong in general. The promoted teams always bounce into the top 8 of this division every single season. And you're seeing it again this year. Tottenham, Horsham, right? It's a weird one. It's not a gigantic step from step 3. It is a gigantic step from the league above. But but weirdly, when you're in the division, it's like anything. It's a bit like, if you're a pro dart player and if you need to throw 180 after 180 to beat Luke Littler, you do. But if you're playing a bloke who throws 26s, right? Your average goes down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that is just. I couldn't be more. I know we probably all get it. We're working class, but no, that is how it is. Factually, this league, promoted teams do well. Factually, it's really competitive, right? And factually, in the league above, we're already seeing promoted teams from this division, a bit like we did. So we got promoted we got relegated within 2 seasons. Ebbsfleet had exactly the same second season. Braintree already in the bottom 4, not looking great for them. So there's a lot of consistencies with the levels, if I'm honest with you. That's what I noticed. But yeah. That's my war and peace, lads.
No, that's very. No, do you know what? You've summed it up pretty well.
Care.
No, you summed it up very well. And also, the other issue also that you haven't mentioned, that everyone knows about, it's a proper bottleneck, isn't it? Because you've got the north and south split. Trying to get out of the division, he's only got that one automatic place, and you've got to go for the lottery of a playoff spot. It's really difficult to come out. Isn't it?
Honestly, mate, it is. It's such a shame. Like there's not enough free movement between the divisions. I mean, the EFL. Like when I look at the EFL, you can have a bad season in the EFL and finish third and get promoted. If that makes sense, you can have a season that didn't all go to plan. 4 up, 4 down. Across the whole EFL, apart from the champ, and it makes for much better movement. And we spoke off air about all these frustrated managers. Paul Wotton's getting booed every week at Torquay, poor bloke. But if he was in the EFL, it'd be in an automatic promotion slot half the time.
Yeah.
So it's the bottleneck is not ideal. I don't know what they do about it. I really don't. It is a problem because you got 2 going into 1. I've always said that the solution really is merging League 2 with the National League, North and South split, and then you can have more promotions into that from the divisions below.
Yeah,
that's something that we have discussed as well ourselves. We've said that on a number of podcasts.
Yeah,
that we think that's probably the best course of action for it, and to make it a little bit better. Really,
it's not only for it's not only for the fact that you get more movement, which is what you really want. You cut your costs as well because you haven't got to fly, to Gateshead. You're coming from Truro. Carlisle.
Football supporters, they're the customer. They, the movement, the up and down movement is what makes the pyramid so great. And there's obviously the 3 Up campaign, which there's a lot of effort going into. I think they're about to announce something else relating to that. That's quite significant in terms of the campaign. But Chesterfield, I think, were in National League 7-8 years. Wrexham 13, I'm going to say. Oldham Athletic, it's kind of unfair that a football supporter could be at the mercy of just being stuck in a division for years on end when they're the paying customers. I think you want that movement. I think it's healthy. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it, but it'd be nice if they did look at it.
Well, there's a lot of so-called yo-yo clubs that come sort of Premier League to Championship, who go up and down every year, and they're some of the best supported. Like Burnley's probably a good example. They're probably some of the best supported teams in the country because they're kind of you know you're going to have a you'll be edge of your seat every single time because they're either going to
Great
be
point.
at the bottom or they're going to be at the top, aren't they? So
Great
and that
point.
works,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's a great point. Sunderland used to be like that. It's a great point, you know. But yeah, no, like these it's very difficult, and also the resources that these clubs put against success as well. When you can only
Yeah,
get one automatic, that's a lot of people failing.
Mm.
Or you look at Sutton United got promoted to the EFL for the first time in God knows how long, well ever, and they're relegated. What chance they ever come back? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
so tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that national. I mean, we spoke about obviously our league as being tough, but the national league's another level in it. God, it's so hard, well, especially for promoted teams. And I always look at the teams coming down from the football league, and they always struggle. They always struggle. Like Sutton are struggling. They always do. They never bounce straight back. I don't think I've seen since the national league became the national league as it is today. I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen a team really thrive in that league. They've always struggled.
If it were down to me, if I was the National League, I would campaign for regionalisation, not
Yeah,
three up.
yeah,
Um, that's what I would do because um, arguably that strengthens the EFL because arguably National League would lose a division.
yeah,
Um, so that might be a different conversation.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that's I think if you put the clubs first, whatever it takes to get more movement between divisions is key.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Mark. To be fair on that point, yeah. I'm glad we mentioned that. It wasn't something we were going to mention, but I'm glad we talked about it because
Yeah,
it's something that I think university us three agree on actually the
yeah.
regionalisation of it, etc. I think it's a good thing, and it's that obviously that movement it creates excitement and despair sometimes as well with that movement because you end up at the bottom sometimes. But then
I
you've
think
got a
it's
chance
all
of
about you want football fans to be, that the paying customer deserves, more traction in the product, if that makes sense. The
yeah,
product, it's a bit like buying a motor that's got a restrictor on it. It goes 70, and you're like, well, for fuck's sake, bit bored now.
yeah.
It is literally like that. It's just restricted movement.
yeah,
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 yeah, you're dead right. Yeah, yeah. Like you said about the, I was thinking of another analogy you used about the dart players. Prior to 26, you end up with letting your game. It's a bit like when you watch F1, isn't it? When your car in front of you brakes too late, you inevitably find the driver behind does the same thing because they're following them. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's that sort of thing, isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
But yours is
That's a
more
great,
work.
yeah, exactly that.
Yeah,
But it's
your,
true. But it is true.
yeah,
No one all conquers divisions, really, not
no,
really. You tend to be an object of it. I mean, last year it's the most exciting league in Europe, statistically, and it had one automatic slot, you know.
yeah,
yeah.
So it's
yeah.
disappointing.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Good points. Good points all round. I think there. Good start. Right. Let's move on to Dorking and how things have gone this season. Obviously, the pre-season. Obviously, I listened to your interviews most weeks, and I noticed you were gonna. You said you were going to have a look at the squad and maybe make it slightly more streamlined this year. So I noticed a few players went out, few sort of Dorking legends, shall we say, left in the summer, and you brought a few players in. How's that sort of worked this season for you, or you were sort of regretting it now? You had a few injuries.
No, I learned a lot when we've done two seasons in the league above. I learned an awful lot. Um, when you're in like non-league football part-time, you fall into that category of recruiting the best players that are going to get you promoted, tend to be the most expensive part-time
Mm.
players. And then when I went to the league above, I started looking at the models of several clubs which had low budgets. I mean, I know people like to play down their budgets and all the resources. And listen, every single football club, somebody somewhere is trying to raise money. That is just football. And the fans' money goes a long way too. But in reality, the likes of Halifax, Gateshead, um, there's several clubs in the league above that operate off budgets that are probably mid-table of the division we're in. But they offer full-time football. They do mornings. They have models where they have good level young pros. It's more attractive to those young pros because they're in the full-time game. Because you've got to think about it logically. The academies have been around so many years now that when it gets to churn out time, there's a lot of players available, and clubs carry a lot of under 23s. So there's so many more players that want to stay in full-time football that you can recruit. So we've looked at it and thought, well, this can be done a bit differently. So we're trying to migrate over time to a sort of younger sort of model, if you like. That's what we want to do. Yeah, some of our stalwarts went, some of them stayed. One of them, Luke Moore, 37, is about to play his sixth game back to back because we've had so many injuries. But yeah, so I'm definitely smelling the coffee with more than one way to skin a cat. I've learned a lot in the last few years.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned about the sort of budgets around. There's a lot of money being thrown about in there, especially this season. I found. I think it's more than ever. It seems like it gets bigger and bigger every year, doesn't it? Where does
Yeah,
Dorking stand on that sort of ladder? Is it sort of? Would you say you're at the top or in the middle or down the bottom?
I mean, we'd be top six,
Yeah,
top six, easily, I'd say. Maybe, I don't know, maybe top seven, whatever. But when we got relegated, I reckon our budget was top 12.
mm,
Like
Yeah.
I just got it wrong in terms of like, you know, trying to be a hybrid and retain these, expensive lads that it was just a bit of a mess really. But the irony is that there's four down, isn't there? We talked about free movement. If there's four down and four up, we go straight back up probably.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Which is what we're saying. But yeah, I've learned an awful lot. And by the way, it's for that reason the amount of available players now that so many teams are able to be competitive.
yeah,
Um, Back in the day, you'd have three, four teams doing brilliantly, and then everyone at the bottom got beat. But it's just not like that now because there's, like Spencer's great at bringing in youngsters from Wimbledon, and these are boys that are in the pro game. They see it as a stepping stone, and you can build. The pro clubs now, due to the volume of players they've got, they will loan comfortably to step two. So
Yeah.
therefore, you can dine out on those.
yeah. Well, we have actually. Yeah, it's a good point because we've used teams like Wimbledon, Portsmouth, Charlton, um,
QPR.
QPR, yeah. I think that's everybody. We've used and we've for loan players this year. We've done very well, and we've obviously got Toby Bowers and Ollie. His surname escapes me on the right hand side, but is injured at the moment. So there's two
Yeah,
from
so
Charlton.
I would
That's
argue
good.
I've had this discussion with, I won't say who, but a club that's not far from you that's called something similar to you, and I've had the discussion many times, and I'd say it about Farnborough. I actually think it's relatively cheaper to go full time than it is to be part time.
Mhm.
If you get that model right, because I've seen it in the leagues above, teams doing 4 mornings a week, built on good quality youth with 2 to 3 more experienced players, but they look like 25, 26 year olds.
Mm.
Um, Squads that aren't massive, some academy boys may be involved, but more time on the grass with them, etc., etc. That is where football is going, by the way. Thinking step three at the moment, you've got the likes of Havant, etc., that do mornings. I believe there's 3 or 4 teams that I know of in step three now that are that way. So it doesn't have to be the old fashioned way anymore, the evenings and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, like I said, you probably put the analogy correctly. More than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way of doing things, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, using the loan system is something that we as a club have used more and more recently. It does frustrate fans a little bit though, because obviously they know the players aren't theirs, and there's recalls generally in these clauses. I mean, we lost Kai Jennings the other week because of he got recalled by Wimbledon and he ended up at Sutton, which was a little bit. I think Spencer had a bit of a bad taste in his mouth on that one, but yeah, so these disappointments happen, but I think they're just part and parcel of being at the level we are, and you just have to take those on the chin. I think sometimes, don't you?
And the problem you've got, mate, is that you know it's hard to afford the other players. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like you know, these, like I said, with these clubs, like there's somebody out there that's sweating, thinking, how am I going to make payday? That's just how it is at all levels. I mean, Premier League clubs are built on debt. You know, Football League clubs, someone's ploughing money in left, right, and centre. At this level, it's just a constant drain. So, um, none of us get 3,000, 4,000 crowds that enable us to, be sustainable. So, I mean, I think Spencer does a great job at two things. One is articulating how many problems he's got. And two is, I think he does a great job with recruitment. Last year we got the boy, didn't he? The striker. What's his
Stuttle,
name?
Johnny Stuttle.
Stuttle, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuttle, great recruitment. So yes, a fan's job is to get behind the club.
Yeah.
And I've seen some examples in recent weeks that are absolutely diabolical. And I called it out in an interview at Salisbury. I went to Salisbury. They literally, I know, sorry, I'm waffling, what I'm like.
Carry on.
They rolled out the red carpet. Could not be nicer people. Food, coffee, handshakes, the committee, the volunteers, the loveliest club we go to. And they've got 30 wankers or 40 wankers behind the goal singing against their own manager, against their own team. We're shit and we know we are. And I just said to them, do you know what I do? Just kick them out. Just have
Yeah.
40 less. Because, like it's, and I've seen it, we've seen it with Paul at Torquay, like the bloke, he'll never do right for wrong. Can you imagine the irony is in some cases, imagine the pressure. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say this publicly. I don't really care because I think Paul's a good man, but like a really good man. But like the pressure they had him under when he came to ours the other
Yeah.
week was unbelievable.
Mm.
I heard the video. They were singing "Sacked in the Morning" as he walked off the pitch, third in the table.
Yeah.
And then they expect the guy to get a Dorking and be, you know what I mean? Like how do they expect? Like it's crazy. So no, I think the fans have to get behind the club. I do think clubs have got a responsibility to communicate their MO in terms of like, this is our budget, this is where we are, we need crowds of this to sustain that. This is why we have to have loan players. But beyond that, the fans have to get behind it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and I think we as a club last season, they had a fans forum for the fans to come into the club, and they all had a discussion. They didn't have a discussion, but they listened to Spencer and Garbo about what was going on at the club, what they have to do, how they have to manage the budgets and stuff like that. And the fans came away from that quite sort of enlightened. But then
Yeah.
I think it was just a matter of weeks, wasn't it, Simon? A couple of months before they
Yeah.
just their heads were turned again, and they're back on the cases.
As
I
soon
think
as they lost,
there's one thing
as soon
I've
as the
always
first loss happened, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, I think there's always one thing I've always said, and I've always sort of lived by when it comes to watching football, is you don't boo your own team, and you don't leave the game early, because
Yeah.
you're paying even at this level, you're paying money for some 15, 16, 17 quid, 20 quid, whoever you're going to. You might as well stay for the whole bloody game. I mean, you spent the
Yeah.
money. You can't.
Yeah.
Why leave? Why leave? And then you're booing
It's a bit of
as you
like,
leave. And
yeah.
social media is just a killer for this as well.
Do you know, oh, mate, you took the words out of my mouth. It used to be that for a team to get booed off or a manager to have the daggers, it used to take significant problems, right?
Yeah.
So like, it was like the last resort. But due to
Mm.
how quick people think and read things, social media, blah, 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 and see it in the Premier League as well, now it's just acceptable to get annoyed after 2 minutes. I've had it. I've had
Yeah.
I've had people on my back, right? Like I've got 11 fit players. We beat Notts County on a Saturday, and I'm like, you do know we was in the Crawley League, don't you? You do understand that, like so.
Yeah.
No, it's quite systemic. You get Football League syndrome. That's a common thing. They should put that in the dictionary. Um,
Yeah.
I saw that at Hartlepool when we went up there. So ex-Football League club where the fans just cannot think they're a non-league club. and they'll forevermore batter everybody until they're a football league club again. You get football league syndrome, and then you just get these sort of like people that aren't really supporters. But I would personally, any cost, just kick them out of the club.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think Spencer. Sorry, Simon. I think Spencer has. I think it was a couple of years ago. It might have been last season. It might have been 2 seasons ago. Where, again, obviously, it's a regular thing. It seems to be a regular thing for us where we go through these downward spirals where we're not winning games and fans get on the Spencer's case and the board's case. And I think he did a post match interview after one game. I don't remember which one it was, and he literally said, if they don't like it, then don't come.
yeah,
And but then that got the fans backed up even more, and then they were all over social media again saying, "Oh, don't telling us not to bother coming again," and having a go at him for
Yeah,
that. So you
yeah,
can't
it's a
you're damned if
thankless
you do and you're
task,
damned if you
mate.
don't.
Yeah, I think the job of a fan is to support the club no matter what. Good times,
Yeah,
hard times. That is the DNA of a supporter. That's what your granddad done. That's
yeah,
what your son wants
yeah,
to do. It is a shame. It's on the rise. I mean, it's a lot of the time it's just acumen as well in terms of understanding where the club is, the budgets, the
yeah,
dynamics,
yeah.
so it's a shame.
yeah. You
I
did
mean,
right
look,
there, Mark, because
clubs like
you did
us
right.
and yours are not going to go into specific financial details of what budgets are and what costs are and stuff like that. But it's just that the fans just obviously need to have some sort of understanding of how football clubs are run, no matter what level, whether you're step Premier League, step one, or step 12. Do you know what I mean? Even clubs at that level have to run at some sort of budget,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
I
just
just
that
think it's a
fans having that
modern thing
understanding.
now. It's a modern thing where that people feel like they can just be a bit like when they click through YouTube shorts or swipe left or right. They just seem to think they can apply that kind of like
Yeah,
quick logic to everything.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. It's also I think fans are I think you're bang on there with fans being maybe ill advised or they get the wrong end of the stick about the financial side of things. But I also think fans have got all got very short memories because, like you said, you're in the Cordy League, and only like 5-6 years ago we were two promotions away from where we are now. So we were fighting for a lot, and we've been into administration twice. Club went bust one of them times, and we reformed. We only reformed in 2007. So if you think you go back far enough, you think to yourself, you know what, we've come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, mate, you really have, and Spencer's and the real fans have sustained Step Two football, and there's more full-time teams in Step Two football than ever before. It's a really
yeah.
competitive league. Um, and yeah, it's systemic, really. It's a bit of a shame. It's hard. It's a hard ask for the managers, the owners. It really is. It's a thankless task, to be quite honest with you.
It is.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
look,
really is.
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. These boo boys sort of go away, but I'll just tell them to go away personally.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just say,
no.
I personally hope I wouldn't want anyone to be told not to come, but I always think you should support your team, but you've got to do it in the right way. But also, hopefully they'll come down and chill out a little bit and think, do you know what? Actually, do you know what? It's not as bad as we think. You know what I mean? And things like that.
Yeah.
But what we'll do, it's good we chatted about that. It's a good subject to talk about, especially in this current moment we're in. How's the season been for you this season? You started off a bit slow. I'd say. I think I'm being fair saying that. I think I'm being fair. If I'm not, just tell me.
Yeah, yeah.
Started off maybe a bit slow, and then but your things have picked up in the last sort of 6 weeks, haven't they? Really for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just same old shit, really. Our end just fucking. I felt like genuinely sometimes clubs go. Oh, can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's gone unstable. You got me back. Yeah,
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 yeah. You're right. Yeah,
am I back?
yeah. I
yeah,
can
yeah.
hear.
Sometimes I made the point in an interview. Sometimes clubs go through spells, but spells aren't necessarily like matches or even seasons. Sometimes it can be a decade or 2 to 3 years. And it's felt like we've not had a break for like 2, 3 years. I mean, I always use the example when we was in the league above and when I thought we was in a bit of trouble because we had a load of injuries and we signed Charlie Carter. We paid We paid good money to Eastleigh to sign him. We were so buzzing to get, probably the best player in the division at the time to us. And he trained on the Saturday because we didn't have a game and broke his arm, right? And we've had just sustained bad luck like that for so long. And start of this season, we had loads more brand new signing, tore his quad grade 3, out 10 weeks. Niall McManus broke his leg at Sholing pre-season. So yeah, we're just waiting to cut a break, really, to be fair, if I'm honest with you, as a club. But I did think some of that is us. We've got to work hard at that, keep bringing in younger players, keep freshening things up. We've brought in a young lone player, Jose Marquez, the Raging Bull, keeping the darts theme with Terry Jenkins. Yeah. The so yeah, so it's been a slow start, same old shit, same old Dorking, same old shit, injuries. When I say the same team has got us through this will be our 7th game in 21 days. And it's been the same players. And I'm hoping you allow language on your podcast. They are fucked. They cannot wait to get through Saturday and then get like a 2-week break before the next league game.
Yeah, I heard your coach's interview went out earlier, and he said the same. He said it's going to be 7th game in 21 days, and there's a lot of tired legs around and stuff like that. And I was celebrating in my car driving home. Here we go, we're going to turn them over here. And then I remembered we're probably in the same boat as you are. Oh, you've had a bad injury.
Spencer will never allow you to have more injuries than him.
That's true. So we're talking of injuries. Alfie Rutherford's picked up a bad one, hasn't he? He's out for a few weeks, isn't he?
Looks that way, yeah. Ligaments looks that way. Ankle ligaments. So yeah, just what I mean. So frustrating. So frustrating.
Was that a bad tackle or a nasty fall?
Yeah, he was about to shoot. He turned inside, and then the Enfield centre half absolutely flattered him. He was a lovely lad, to be fair, and he felt bad. It was a mistimed tackle. Ironically, ref didn't give a penalty. But even though it was, yeah, he's Alfie's done for a bit, so he'll go back in the kennel, and we'll bring him back out again when he's ready.
Yeah, he's had a lot of bad luck with injuries, hasn't he, Alfie? So of all the players to kind of have one like that, it's probably he was the last person you'd sort of wish for it to happen to, isn't it? Really, because he's been through his fair share already, hasn't he?
Yeah, annoyingly, certain players lose a lot of fitness when they don't play.
Mm.
And he's one of those players, so he'll sort of be 4-6 weeks out, and then 3-4 weeks to get up to speed. So it is what it is, mate. I've learned, to be honest, just to get on with it. That's all you can do.
How did you talking of Marquez, who we were going to mention him actually, because he scored a couple of goals for you already. How did you come about signing him on loan from Forest Green? And did it happen? Did you have to have a word with Robbie and bung him a few quid, or what? How did it go?
Yeah, spoke to Rob. Yeah, he was just one of those standout potential loan candidates. He's scored goals everywhere he's been, and I watched his Gungerford, and they're all different. One's a lob, left foot, right foot, header. I just felt like I don't even know the stats, but I mean, our stats are number 1 in this league by a mile for last third entries, XG4, and we were underachieving all of those stats. So, can you hear me okay still?
Yeah, we're right. Yeah, you said your bandwidth's a bit low. That's all right. Just carry on, mate. We can hear you.
Too much player budget, so the fucking bandwidth's suffering on the Wi-Fi.
Sounds like you're underwater sometimes when you're speaking. That's all right.
Right. Yeah. So basically, we were underperforming our stats significantly. We should be doing way better than what we are. So we tried to bring in someone we thought could take more chances. And he's scored 2 in 2, the Raging Bull.
Yeah, I saw his interview when he signed, and he said he's a bit of he said, but he didn't say raging bull. He's sort of a bit of a bully up front. He likes to let defenders know he's there and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, blimey, that's quite a thing to say when you just signed for a new club, and he's quite a young lad as well. So he's obviously got a bit about him.
Oh, Mark's internet is not
Gone.
playing games with us.
He's gone.
Wrong. Yeah, so it's good. Hold on.
No, you're right, mate.
Chippy
You
Vic, man. Why is it doing
Yeah,
that?
we lost all of that, Mark.
Why is it doing that, man? Let me put it there. Right. So yeah, I think what I was saying was Marquez, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's young, he's stocky, he's strong, lots of work to do, but he's definitely old beyond his years. And that's what I like about him. And we create a lot of chances. I mean, we've had games this year where, it wouldn't have been unfair to have won by 12. And the stats say that, so yeah, we wanted to help the last third really, and he's done a good job. 2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, no, he's done well. He's done well. I just want to go back to injury. So we were talking about Alfie earlier. Obviously, our player Aaron Kuhl very well, being an ex-player, and obviously you know about his really quite horrible injury that he sustained early on in the season. I just want you get your thoughts on that. Whether you've spoken to him, because I know you've obviously you donated to the GoFundMe page for him that the club set up for him, which is obviously he's very grateful for everybody that has donated. I just want to get your thoughts on that and whether you've spoken to him or not in that time.
Yeah, well, spoke to him at the time, messaged him obviously the same day after,
Yeah.
donated, messaged him, spoke to him at your game on Wednesday, against Torquay when he came down with his girlfriend.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's just one of football's good guys,
Mm.
Um, and to be honest with you, if he was training again next week, he'd go in for the same challenge,
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah.
He's full-blooded, and he's an old school footballer, Cooley, and he'll go in for a 30-70, not in his favour. I was devastated for him because it's always the good guys. He's a
Mm.
strong boy. He's a strong boy, and I'm sure he'll come back for it. And the irony is, when they moved him on the night, you never see that, do you? Never,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Like you were winning 1-0, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And between us, between us, I think Spencer messaged me during it to double check the rules on if it gets called off,
Yeah.
and he won't mind me saying that. But the bottom line is, if it gets called off, you replay the game. And I had no qualms that Cooley, being the man that he is, would have said, if we're going to lose, just fucking move me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with people holding his bones together, that epitomizes Cooley, because you never see that. You never see a leg break moved. Never.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason, in fact, he got some. I know. I was at the game. I was at the game, and it was getting a bit cold. And I know Spencer and Steve came over, and they thought it was his knee to start with, and then they said no, he's done it. He's done his ankle, and then it turned out to be his leg. So they didn't really have a clue what was going on. In all fairness, but they both come over and they said, yeah, it's a bad one, and they're going to have to abandon it if they don't move him in the next 15 minutes. The ref said he's going to have to abandon it. The referee was on the phone as well to somebody getting some advice as well. I think might have been you, Mark.
Well, I do offer a referee's advisory service. So funny you say that.
Happy days. Happy days. Probably got it on speed though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah. So and
it
it was actually the referee that got him moved in the end, because he said, "Hey, I've got to call the game off. It's not if he doesn't move in the next sort of 10 minutes by that point. But also, I'm a bit concerned because he's going a bit white and it's getting really cold. And that's when the medical team said, yeah, do you know what? If he's all right, we're moving. Cooley was up for it. So yeah, get me off. Get me in hospital as quick as you can." And then they all got on a stretcher. Must have been about 30 of them all carrying him. And they all, not because he's heavy, it's just they all wanted to get involved. And they said he just piled him off, and he was off on the side of the pitch while the game was going on. And it was it was a bit weird, really. The ambulance finally turned up, but bearing in mind the ambulance station was only literally round the corner. It took them 45 minutes to get there. and they
Yeah, that's it, mate. This is
yeah,
it. You pay all your tax, mate. But trust
yeah.
me, if you need an ambulance, you ain't fucking getting it.
Yeah, you go get in your car
No.
and drive yourself. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, and he had obviously come off. It was actually down to the referee in the end who got him carted off. I don't think he'd still be there now.
Yeah.
What it was. But yeah, yeah, it was bad. So yeah, obviously it was really nice. Everybody, the whole football community came round and donated for him. And I mean, we've had him on the radio during half times. Me and Main and Alan do the half time show for the radio lot where they go and have some chips and a drink. And so we do that, and then we've had him on there, and he's doing all right recovery wise. He's doing okay. I think he's had a little setback actually in the last couple of days, which we've got him on Saturday coming on again, so we're going to talk to him about that. But yeah, just the whole football community come round, and it's really good to see. Really, it's nice.
Yeah, and most of all because it was him. He's a good guy,
Yeah,
and everyone
Yeah.
knows that. So that's why everyone jumped on it straight away. Proper guy. There's other players I know that people wouldn't have jumped on it as quickly. So yeah,
yeah.
no, it's really good.
Yeah, he's overwhelmed actually. He's still overwhelmed now. To be fair, he doesn't know what to say. But all I do know is he's booked a couple of nice holidays on your money, Mark. So he says thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no, I thought he had. He did say that last night. And I think he's got a new hair lotion.
So you was at the game last night, then, Mark. What did you think?
I just thought they got a couple of. I mean, if a team's not winning games, the first goal is important, right? That's how
Yeah.
it is. I mean, Spencer played the side down, but you've got some really good quality players that have played in the top teams in this division with
Mm.
Dom and Rax and the likes, really experienced boys. So, yeah, it was just a case of Torquay had a great start. Um, and that seemingly when you're not winning matches, going a goal down can feel like 1.5 down. That's just
Yeah.
how it is. That's football. Equally, if you're not winning matches, you get the first goal, going to be your day. You're 1.5 up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's just how it works. And the vibe around the place weren't great. And that's listen, Torquay full time, no shame in losing. Um, Personally, I didn't think there's much in it, really, not massively. I think games at Farnborough are always wide open. The pitch lends a hand to that. It's massive. It's
Mm.
good. It ain't shit like cars and full of rubber. The ball moves. Players can move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a good quality game. I really did, and yeah, I don't. I know Spencer's job is to manage expectations, and he's right to, and I think he's brilliant, Spencer. But I think there's nothing to say that your Farnborough team can't go on a good run. Hopefully after
No.
our
Yeah.
game, but at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what as a manager? Sorry, Tom. As a manager, when because obviously we went 2 goals down really quickly, really early into the first 9 or 10 minutes. What do you, as a manager, say to your team when that happens? So when you go in at half time, or even during the game when you're trying to, because I think Spencer made a few changes and switched the system around a little bit before he made subs at half time. But how do you go into those sort of situations as a manager?
Well, this is it. I mean, it's just about sort of like, I mean, from the side, you're trying to find a few well done's really.
Yeah.
Um, you're trying to encourage positive actions. You're trying to fix things and drive positive behaviours in that
Mm.
moment. Often you'll hear me shouting next goal, because
Mm.
sometimes, just the mentality of forget what's what, let's get the next goal in the game's a good one. But, I totally feel the pain. We've been there, like when we had a season where um, in the South, the year we got promoted, that we were never beaten. I
Mm.
remember we were 3-0 down to Dulwich Hamlet at home and won 4-3. And even the fans, everybody, my team at 2-0 down always thought they would come back. So you get, you get polar opposite. Like it's a lot of it is just how things are going in general, how players feel. And I looked, to be honest with you, I looked around the Farnborough team and, everyone had the hump in 2 minutes. And
Yeah.
they've had the hump you know, because they feel like they're not doing well. But I just went to Dagenham, a full-time team, who, in
Yeah,
honesty, no disrespect, have probably got the biggest budget in the league, and have got a goal to straw. I
yeah,
mean, from where I'm standing, that's as good as, you can win the league on getting draws like that away from
yeah,
home.
yeah.
So yeah, I just thought everyone was a bit despondent unnecessarily, really. Sometimes the best thing to do in football is just to fucking get on with it, and
Is
enjoy it.
confidence a big thing then? Is confidence a real big thing for players and teams to build on and to keep that confidence high, even when you are losing?
I think so. Yeah, I think so massively. I see it all the time. We play certain teams, and you know that the first goal is going to make a big difference. You know,
Mm,
you know that the first goal is going to be a good one. If you go away at Torquay and you're 2-0 up, they'll be booing their own players. And, like, so yeah, confidence is a thing at this level, definitely. Um, so yeah, I personally thought there was no shame in the scoreline. I think both teams were blowing. I thought as always down there, second half the game was stretched. It's a real hard yard to play high tempo football over there.
mm.
So, but no, I mean, I don't see any drama at Farnborough at all, not one bit. So just being candid, maybe I should say the opposite. But if I was Spencer, I would just be a little bit nonplussed about it all, and the fans. It's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. I think for me, what Alan mentioned about his confidence, I personally think confidence is the singular most important thing in football. If a player's confident, is a different player to someone who's not confident, and also you also if you can glean that with being hard working and when the work and a good work ethic as well, I think you've probably got yourself a proper team and a proper player. I think, but
That's it, mate.
yeah,
That's it. Too many people. I mean, I definitely think one of my strengths is understanding the temperature. We got beat at Ebbsfleet the other week, and Josh is a mate of mine for best part of 20 years, Josh Wright. But we got beat 2-1. We were so dominant first half, it was ridiculous, right? Pryor then scores 1-0 up, deservedly. 5 minutes later, gets carried off unconscious, right? He'd never been knocked down in his life.
Mm.
We lost 2-1, having had about 140% possession, God knows how many chances. And at the end, I just said, yeah, and it was off the back of another poor result. And I just said, I'm just not bothered, lads. So I'll be honest, I'm only going with what I see. I've got to be true to myself as a manager. I see great players. I see great patterns. I see we're doing things well. We can't cut a break, but we're going to cut a break. That's football. That's how it works. And we're just going to work hard. We're going to turn it round. And into your point in football, you can't win a game by sulking. You can't win a
Yeah,
game by everybody thinking you've got a problem. You can't win a game if your team at 1-0 down think you can't win a game. You can't win a game that way.
yeah,
yeah.
So, you've got to be good at managing the minds.
yeah, spot on. Yeah. Yeah, you got some questions, haven't you, Alf? It was sent in by
I've
I've
just
got
done
one question.
Spencer's
Yeah,
team
obviously.
talk for him.
yeah,
Maybe Spencer,
Yeah, yeah,
Alan's cutting it together now. Send it over to him. Yeah,
yeah, just
yeah.
WhatsApp him. He can play it to them, and at least if we lose, I can take the credit.
if
Yeah.
you'd be on the same pedestal as Maggie Thatcher, Winston Churchill, and Mark White. We're going to be on the same level.
Perfect, perfect.
Well,
Dictators.
look, we've got. I don't know if you remember the last time we spoke last season. We had Tom, the young lad, Tom, who was on the podcast with us. He's not on the podcast with us this season, but he has texted me to get me to ask you this question, and he wants to know what ex-Wanderer player do you think would have the best impact on this current side that you have?
What a great question. What a great question. Mm, really difficult. Really, I mean, as an aside, I wish I'd never sold Ryan Seeger.
Yeah,
That's one of my biggest mistakes. Um, for what it's
He's mustard.
worth.
He is. He's absolute mustard, isn't he? Banging him
Yeah, I
into
bug it
that,
up.
isn't he?
Alfred was coming back from his ACL, and heart operation. We was way over budget, and it was the turn of the year, and I thought I can only have one of them. I should have left
Mm.
Alfie on loan for the season. Um, didn't because he weren't fit enough. Brought back Alfie. Alfie was nowhere near fit, nowhere near. Siege went down to Havant. We got relegated that year.
Mm.
Anyway, that's that. But Tom Davis, we had a boy called Tom Davis, centre mid. Ex, he won the Conference South 3 times with 3 different clubs. AFC
Oh,
Wimbledon,
well,
St Albans.
yeah,
Oh, going to escape me now, the other one, but he was a brilliant player, midfielder, swashbuckling. He had long hair, um, like a goal. Can you even say that now? Can you say girls have
yeah, you
long
can say
hair?
that. Yeah,
Yeah, boys have long hair, girls have long hair. So yeah, he was a great player, Tom. He'd have a big impact.
yeah,
He's still playing.
Um, no, he packed it in. He packed it in to look after his kids, but um, bizarrely, his son never played. I'm going to say he's about 10, 11. His daughter is in Chelsea under 23s and she's very, very good. She's only 17. So
yeah.
potential England call up on the card. She's really good.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Um,
well,
she's and just like Tom as well. So yeah, so um and I want to answer your Tom, and I'll never forget Briggsy in his prime. I've got to be honest, because a
mm.
prime Briggs in football, the worst thing about football is you're only as good as your last season or your last 10 games. You know, when you pick player of the year, all the fans pick the bloke who had a good month, don't they? Right?
Yeah,
Like, but Briggs was with us 10 years. And some of my most enjoyable memories are just of how good he was as a
yeah,
player in his prime, probably pre his second ACL. So Briggs will always be. I don't. It'd be difficult to look beyond someone like him.
Yeah, I think you've done
well,
there.
yeah,
You've
it's a good shout.
covered the bases there, Mark. I reckon. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you've done all right. You've had a few quality players. I reckon. I'd probably say when you mentioned, I forgot. I completely slipped my mind that Siggo was you had Siggo, and I think he's unbelievable. I mean, if I had a few hundred grand spare, I'd say to the club, look, go and buy Siggo, and I'll cover his wages for the season. He's unreal. He'd get you 20 goals, wouldn't he? Anywhere. He's fantastic.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yeah, big mistake of mine that one.
Yeah, live and learn.
You
So
say
I say,
obviously you've been obviously in charge of Dorking for a long time now. How long has it been?
Whole time it's been existing, 26 years.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you said like that Briggsy been with the club for 10 years. How
Yeah.
hard is it? Is it for you to sort of see those sort of long-term players go?
The Briggs one was absolutely death-defyingly horrible. Like,
Mm,
I still can't get over it. I've seen him 3 times already because he went to Salisbury and
mm,
we've played them 3 times this season, twice in the FA Cup. So, yeah, no, when someone's been with you a decade, really, there should be only one of two things happen, really. They retire or they go down the divisions because it's not quite the level. It's definitely not heard of to be playing against someone that was with you 10 years.
yeah,
And I'm not comfortable with it. It's weird seeing him in a different shirt. I'm sure when he retires, all of his football memories, his core memories will be with us.
yeah,
They were pretty special, promotion after promotion. Sorely missed.
yeah,
Yeah. We've had a few. I was speaking to a club legend last night. CJ Fern was in the was at the game last night. So did grab a word with him afterwards, and he's a bit of a legend. It's weird seeing him playing for Uxbridge basically, and even Hartley Whitney for a season he was there. It's odd. It's odd, isn't it? When you like
Yeah,
CJ was at the club since he was 16, and he's 29 now, and you think he's
yeah,
been here 11, 12 years. He was at Farnborough, so
yeah. It's
it's odd.
weird.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling. It's a strange feeling. I still feel a bit like that with Kevin De Bruyne at Chelsea, to be honest with you, Mark. But I need to get over it, to be honest with you. At least he's stuck with blue generally, so which is not so bad.
Yeah.
I can pretend. Yeah. Alan, you got anything else?
but no, look, Mark. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there.
Cheers,
It's been
mate.
great chatting to you. Don't go away because we'll have another little conflab when we come off air. But thanks for coming on tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's always great talking to you. I hope you've enjoyed yourself as well.
Keep up the hard work, lads, because non-league needs people like us,
Yeah.
volunteers, promoting the game, so the fans maybe can, have a few more quid in the pot for players and win more matches.
Exactly. That is exactly what it's all about, and it's about to. I think Spencer said this all the time. It's the money through the door, and it's the pound here and there. That makes a big difference, especially at our
That's it.
level. So,
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Really
Cheers,
insightful
lads.
as ever, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing us all down at Cherrywood on Saturday as much as we're looking forward to seeing you. So,
Can't wait.
I would wish you good luck, but we'll save that for after 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Look, don't go anywhere, Mark. We'll have a chat afterwards. But this is me to say this episode was sponsored by Tritech Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into an innovative reality. For more information, visit tritechconsulting.co.uk. Thanks again, Mark, and thanks, Simon, for coming on. Thanks to everybody that's watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, let's get that 100 subscriber. And we'll be back very soon with another episode. See you all soon.